Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. Now, I am joined by Steelback. Unfortunately, rough loss for you guys, but you were able to fire back in game 2, and it looked like you were going to be able to take it for a bit. How do you stay focused after tough losses like that?
Yeah, so the first game we lost it pretty hard. We got stomped because they had a better draft and they played very good. They pushed every lane and they won real quick. And the second game we were actually winning early very hard, but we couldn't snowball properly. We should have done Nash really quickly, but we didn't manage to. So late game they had Lulu, so they won the late game. Yeah.
Well, they were, in fact, the better team on the day, but you guys still played admirably. Now, I want to ask you about your plans for the rest of the split, because you're pretty safely locked into 4th place. What are you looking to do for the next couple of weeks to keep improving?
Well, the couple of weeks that we will face H2K and Unicorns, so we will use those teams to improve for summer split, because now we're 4th, so we will do everything to improve and come back stronger in the summer split.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now, so last question for you, Steelback. Just looking back at your split in review, what you think went well, what you think didn't do well, what was the biggest learning you had from the split overall?
Well, I think the split was hard because we changed a lot the players. We were new, Joko was new too, so we had to get along together. In scrims, we're actually doing pretty well recently, but we don't manage to do it on stage. So it seems like we have a bit of an issue on stage, but I hope we will improve and we will do everything to be a good team in summer split.
So you're still looking to improve just overall, in general, jiving with the team. Do you feel like you just need a little bit more time, or is there something in particular you need to work on?
Yeah, I think we need definitely more time. I think we need confidence as well. That's what we're lacking, because I feel we're all good players, but when it comes to stage, we seem like we play scary, and it's one of our main issues right now, and I hope we will get confidence and be a strong team, because we can.
Alrighty, so now that we know mostly the teams that are looking ahead to playoffs, who do you think is looking strongest on that side of the spectrum?
Well, I think the 2 strongest teams for me are G2 and H2K, from scrims and from seeing them playing, and then I would say like 3rd Unicorns, and then I'm not sure, but I would say that's the top 3 team right there.
Alrighty, well, looking forward to seeing it and looking to see how you guys perform throughout the rest of the split and in the summer. Thank you very much once again, Steelback. We're going to go ahead, though, and send it off to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Pyra. Always happy to hear from Steelback as well. But right now we're joined by Sencox and Mickey from Splyce. The first thing I have to say is congratulations not only on the series win, but you guys are locked in playoffs for quarterfinals, at least Sencox, so that's officially the case is maybe a relief as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, but we all expected the win today, and we are kind of still aiming for 2nd and hoping for the tiebreaker and go in our favor. So we'll have to see after next week. We've got 2 of the roughest games in our group. So.
Yeah, you do. A lot of interesting matches coming up. Let's focus on the matches today first to round that out. Mickey, how do you feel the series went versus Vitality?
The first game went pretty smooth, I guess. The second game, we kind of fed the early game really hard.
Splyce, summer.
But we knew the late game is out. We had Kassadin, so if you get level 16, the game is over. The only problem was we didn't have like much Nash control, I think if they executed better, then they would win.
Yeah, if they were debating the Baron properly, I think you guys would have lost. And this was actually some of the early critique that people had against Splyce at the start of the season, where you played this like passive style, mid laners that don't have the push pressure early on, and then kind of the map falls apart. Why did you guys go back to this Kassadin pick? Because it still has the same weaknesses, right, that cost you the games, or were you just comfortable doing it against Vitality?
I mean, I think in general it's okay. Like the reason that Kassadin kind of came back last year was also because of that. So picking it into that, I think, is still fine. And you can actually win the lane. You can actually pressure the lane after 6. The problem was this game, like, even though I survived the dives early and like it should be game over, I think, because Ringa was ahead and I was still even. But we kind of did fail dive on top, and then we did a fail execution in mid, so Trashy died, and then Graves got back in the game. And from that point, it was kind of hard to pressure. But I think if we kept even and we were even ahead in the early game, I think the game should have been a lot easier for us. And I think in general we're a lot better at early game now than we were last split, and I also think that we're better at like putting pressure points also around mid. Yeah, definitely. You guys coming back in the games was something we saw a lot from you in summer 2016. What do you think specifically has improved in your early game? And I think in general, me and Trashy's team play as a duo has gotten a lot better. We've worked a lot on it, and then I think Mickey and Trashy has been working on some stuff as well in the early game, and I think that helps a lot when, like, it's really underrated how a support and jungler goes around and finds vision, and it makes you more comfortable as laners as well to play the game because you almost all the time you know where their jungler is. So I think in general we just improved on a lot of stuff that we didn't really have before. I think we were still great players in summer, but the problem was we just didn't pressure the lanes really much. And then when we got to late game, we could still win these fights where we were really far behind. So. Yeah.
If you look at the laning phase, Hachani was out of the roster, now back into the roster. Could you feel that in lane that they didn't have the same amount of synergy that you and Kobe have?
Yeah, I think so. I think the first game, he kind of solo lost the lane. But
tell us why. What happened?
Because he walked in like level 1, he was just standing at the end of the bush, and then we just warded it and walked to him, and I flayed him, and he was like half HP. And then they couldn't get the push and not do anything, so they were just getting pushed in all the time.
And that first game, do you think you should have won that push regardless of the matchup, or is the what was it? Was it Lulu Lucian to Ashe Thresh? Is that skill matchup or who wins?
Yeah, I think if Lulu plays it well, then she should win the push. But I guess that's how level 1 went, so we got the push, I guess.
You did get to push there, and you got to 2 wins in a row. And Sankox, you hinted at it beforehand as well. Playoff race, quarterfinals, and it is so incredibly close. You guys are now at wins at least tied with H2K, but you're playing H2K and the Unicorns of Love in the next 2 weeks. How realistic is the jump for you guys into second?
I think it's pretty realistic. Like you saw, like G2 is undefeated, and we almost beat them last week. So we had a really convincing first game, and then the third one was a bit even, but the second one was convincing from their side. But the second game didn't happen. But I think in general we show that we can still beat the top teams, and we're not a bad team at all.
Definitely not a bad team. I wouldn't say that, Mickey. If you think of, if you end up in the 3rd place, you'll end up facing Misfits in your very first match in the quarterfinal. Is that someone you would like to avoid? Otherwise, it would be Fnatic, obviously.
Yeah, I think it would be obviously a lot better to face the 3rd team from the other group. But I think Misfits are also a really strong opponent, so I would like to avoid them if possible. But
yeah.
I guess we can beat them for sure.
You could beat them. Well, it'll play out how it'll play out. You got to beat everyone if you want to be the champion, of course. Player of the series in this one was also Wonder. Sadly, not one of these 2 guys here.
Couldn't give it to Mickey. No side support, quarter kill.
No, we couldn't do it.
Sucks.
No. All right, well, next up, the undefeated G2 will be taking on the last place Giants. We will see if they learn a thing or two when we return.
Riptak goes down the Hemo Blade. There is support. Hachani and Joker coming in. Ash Arrow catches onto Trashy. Trashy goes down for first blood. Vitality surrounding Splyce. They put down a control ward. Trashy's down.
The running cast in is that he cannot clear waves very quickly, and now he might be getting dive.
Great stun from Hachani.
The teleport is available for Cabo, but I don't know if Splyce have the wave there.
Look at the 3-man body slam. That's the team fight impact Wonder was looking for, but is not enough damage to follow it up. Copy and Senkox get out of range of Tempered Fate, and Wonder is being culled down where he stands. The body slam allows enough damage for Cobby to pick up the kill onto Cabo. Hachani burns down. It's a double for Cobby's Ezreal. And they turn the game around from a 4,000 gold deficit for a clean 2-0 over Vitality.